What's up, guys? Ashley and Jonathan here with Dissent. We're going to walk you through some tips for a clean and jerk, some errors that we see and ways that we can fix that. So I want to start with a starting position. We're going to talk about the power position, which is the most important part, and then how to transition into the catch up overhead. So Jonathan's going to demo everything for us. So a good starting position, find your feet. A good way to find that is if you hop up and down a couple times where your feet land. That's where you have the most power. That's where you want your feet to be. Now, starting position, that bar is going to be about mid-shin. And hips, you want your hips low enough so that the backs of your shoulders are stacked on top of the bar, or the crease of your armpit is on top of the bar. So right there. A lot of people will try to pull that too high or send their hips way too high like you're setting up for a deadlift. Those are totally different setups. We want to be in a good position here. From here, our bar is going to rise and your back is going to stay in the same angle the whole time. From here, you're going to hit this transition part where your hips come from. This is your power position. This is where all of that power drives. So from here, if we stand up and we skip this position, it's all arms. We don't want to lose that. So go ahead and hit that power position. We still have shoulders stacked on top of the bar. From here, this is where you get to use that to drive that bar up. Think about bar path up. Hit one more for me. Good. All right. From here, we've started this transition up. Now we start this pull. We want to hit a triple extension, meaning legs, hips, arms, all fully extended. From there, we have that pull. A lot of people try to pull backwards. We want to keep elbows up like a robot. So go ahead and start a high pull. Good, good. Once we've gotten that high pull here, it's an aggressive turn under. Good, good. Another thing I want to address is how he received that bar. We don't want to tuck our tailbone under. That puts a lot of pressure on our lumbar spine and it can create a lot of problems. So we want to send the hips back, similar to that power position that we hit here. Receive that bar in a nice power position. From here, we're going to start a jerk, okay? So in a jerk, you want your feet back underneath you. So if you've received that bar and you've had to widen your feet a little bit, go ahead and reset, get them back to that power position. You're going to start what we call a dip. Really, you're getting back into that power position. Notice how his back is nice and straight. We don't want to lean forward in that dip. That creates a bad angle, and then we have to fight physics to get that bar straight up overhead. So from here, we're just going to do a jerk drive. So it's a dip and a drive up, let that bar float in the air. Good. One more. Good. At some point, you're going to feel that bar kind of float weightlessly, effortlessly. It's just chilling there. At that point, that's when you start that push under. I like to think of a push jerk as a power jerk more than it is a push. You're going to use the power from your hips to drive that bar up and float, and then you're going to powerfully push yourself under that bar. And again, catching the same way you caught in that clean. We don't want to catch here. We want to catch in a good neutral spine. So go ahead and give me a jerk. Good. Good. And relax. So sometimes your feet will need to come off the ground as the weight gets heavier. That's totally fine. If you're aggressive enough, your feet may leave the floor. We want to avoid this uncomfortable starfish. So we want to get our feet into where it would be like a squat stance. So it's a dip, drive, and get your feet back on the ground as quick as possible. You want your feet to land the same time your arms are locking out overhead. Good. Good. All right. Now, if you wanted to cycle a few of these together, you would come back down the way that you came. Knuckles would turn to the ground, back to that hip, or straight down like Jonathan just did here, and you would repeat that same process. Good. Good. And those are some tips for a clean and jerk.